went to Hong Kong in November. I had a couple of days off from work and I thought that Hong Kong would be an ideal place to visit. And I was right, there probably couldn't have been a better choice. I didn't think much about it. I checked that I didn't need a visa for Hong Kong, quickly booked the cheapest reasonable place to stay and headed out. Straight at the airport, I was detained for about 30 minutes. I suppose I looked a bit suspicious, a tourist with just one backpack on a spontaneous trip to Hong Kong. They asked me several questions about the purpose of my travel, where I would stay, what my job was, how much money I had, and then they let me go. That was a bit of a rough start. I felt rather lost, having done zero research. If you go to places like Bangkok or Saigon, they're made for tourists. The routes are well established, it's easy to navigate, and everyone is ready to jump in and take you to whatever hotel they have prepared. Hong Kong was different. Hong Kong was a place to work and live. It's mega convenient, it's got a system, and if you're not familiar with it, it feels a bit overwhelming. I immediately got lost and had to ask local help desks to guide me. They were amazing, they told me exactly what to do and where to go. I bought an octopus card and was ready to go. Taxis are really expensive in Hong Kong. Everyone uses public transport. I got on a double-decker bus and was ready to explore Hong Kong. It was quite easy to find the area of my hotel, but nearly impossible to pinpoint it. It was located in one of those high-rise buildings with no signs or marks that there is a hotel there. I think I spent about 25 minutes walking around trying to locate it. In the end, I had to call the receptionist to help me find it. It was in the middle of a residential building on the 6th floor. As expected, the room was tiny, something like 3 meters by 2. That was expected, but I had never stayed in a room of that size. I tried to record myself there, well, you can clearly see how excited I am. Alright, I'm in Hong Kong. This is, something special. I don't remember the last time I was so excited to be in a city. Bangkok is amazing, Kuala Lumpur is great, but Hong Kong has such an unbelievable vibe and atmosphere. It's like, it's kind of futuristic but at the same time very old school. I just arrived, I just came here, just checked in my hostel. It's tiny as expected, basically wall, bathroom, that's it. I was expecting it. It took me probably like 20 minutes to find this place because it's like hidden in one of the corridors. So far I'm loving it. It's just, yeah. After a quick shower, I headed out. There was something special about Hong Kong. You know, I've lived in Asia for almost 7 years now. I thought it was hard to surprise me. I've been to Bangkok, lived in Kuala Lumpur, and now live in Saigon, but Hong Kong had something really unique about it. For the first time in a while, I was in a place where no one really bothered me, no one tried to grab my attention, and no one tried to sell something to me. Everyone was just minding their own business. All of a sudden, it felt like I had been teleported to another universe that operated under another set of rules and laws, and I loved it. First, I wanted to eat something. I did minimal research before coming here, so finding good food was a challenge. My first try was a failure. I somehow got a pork hoof. Not terrible, but certainly not my favorite dish. After that, I headed to Victoria Harbour. This place is probably one of my favorites in Hong Kong. On the way, I saw a National Gallery, which I'll check out later. The harbour was magnificent, with all these iconic skyscrapers and Victoria Peak as the backdrop. It was full of tourists who came to snap some photos, but also locals who were commuting from one island to another. The bay was full of cruising tourist boats and regular ferries. The sky was busy with helicopters flying in and out, delivering their very important business people. All this was mesmerizing. I stayed there for probably 2 hours until the sun went down. I wanted to see the laser show, one of the very few things I knew about Hong Kong. And funny enough, it probably was one of the most disappointing things about Hong Kong. Here it is. nothing much, right? I suppose in the days when it was designed, it did look fabulous, but now I think just the city skyline looked so much more spectacular than this tiny little laser show. It was midweek, so possibly it gets more impressive during the weekends, but on that day, I was not amazed at all. After that, I headed for a walk around the city. This holiday, I had a mission. I decided to finally learn how to use my video camera for taking photos. Sounds rather funny, but up until that moment, I had no confidence in using the manual settings of my camera. They're quite different from video settings, so this time my priority was to try to master the photo settings and capture as many shots as possible. The first results were pretty decent, obviously not ideal, but for a starter, they could work. Night in Hong Kong is hypnotizing. The neon lights are everywhere, and then another thing I forgot to mention was that the season to be there was probably the best for walking outside. It was November, and the weather was nice and warm, staying within 25-30 degrees Celsius. It was just great. The next day I was on another mission. I wanted to get to the top of Victoria Peak, one of the best spots to oversee Hong Kong. It's got probably one of the most iconic views of a city skyline in the world, though the way there was a bit tricky. I wanted to use only public transport. Its system is very convenient and logic, but it still takes some time to learn. I really loved being a tourist in this busy and hectic city, exploring everything around me, walking with the local residents, imagining their daily commute, imagining what my life would be like if I ever ended up living in Hong Kong. I probably would have totally hated it. The cost of living in Hong Kong is insanely high. Everything's expensive and you constantly feel poor with no change to that. But for me, a tourist, feeling like a local was quite entertaining. Once I reached the other side of the bay, I had a short walk around and almost immediately got lost. But that was not much of a problem. When you're a tourist, getting lost is even sort of fun. It gives you a chance of ending up in places where you would normally never have thought of going. On my way, I saw the famous Hong Kong trams. I'll get to them later, but for now, I had to reach the peak. Eventually, I did find the bus that took me straight to the top of the mountain. The ride was thrilling. The road was windy, and I couldn't stop looking at all those residential houses we were passing by. I was trying to think how people live there, how their daily life feels like. It was like getting a glimpse into another life for a split second and then back to reality. Victoria Peak was great. Mildly touristy with a nice hanging trail around it. I loved the views. I tried to record myself there, but first I couldn't get the framing right, and then I felt terribly self-conscious recording myself outdoors. It is a strange thing that I haven't really trained myself to do. I feel terribly awkward and shy feeling myself like this outdoors. I suppose I need more practice. Once I was done admiring the views of Victoria Peak, I decided to go for the second most iconic thing in Hong Kong. It's trams. Hong Kong has these cute little double-decker trams cruising around the city at a pretty decent speed. This is the thing about Hong Kong. Somehow it manages to feel futuristic and retro at the same time. I used to live in Kuala Lumpur and I'm hard to be impressed by skyscrapers, but Hong Kong feels totally different. Every spot here has a history. Everything feels like it was made a while ago and now is diligently serving its purpose. While I was walking around the city, I spotted a group of Hongkongese playing Chinese chess. The playing board was carved into the table and they all seemed to be having a great time. I'm sure they go there almost every day to polish their skills in this game. This city is extremely photogenic. It was really easy to get distracted. No matter where you stand, something is going to capture your eye. But I was on a mission. I wanted to try those trams. They looked way too attractive to be missed. And yes, the ride was simply great. I got on the top deck among other tourists and enjoyed the ride. After the ride, I went to get some food. I'm definitely not a food blogger, well, not yet, but yes, the food in Hong Kong is awesome. Their Chinese dishes are amazing. I live in Vietnam. It is quite hard to get a good variety of Chinese food there, probably for political reasons. So having a chance to enjoy some authentic Chinese food was priceless. The next day, I was on another mission. I didn't have time to explore every single corner of Hong Kong, so I decided to follow one of my friend's recommendations and head to Shek O Beach. It sounded intriguing, and the photos of it looked lovely, so I decided to go for it, and it did not disappoint. It had this unbelievable vintage vibe, like it was frozen somewhere in the 80s. At the same time, everything was well maintained and cared for. The beach looked amazing too, surrounded by tall Hong Kong mountains with some islands afar. I tried to speak on the camera again, but my feeling of self-consciousness just wouldn't let me go. There was a family sitting right in front of me, so I first just pressed record on the camera and sat there, trying to get used to the environment. After a few seconds, I tried to give a few speeches, and it was bad again.
So we are in Shek O Beach now. It took about an hour to get here. It's really nice. I guess
I thought since the mic was right next to my head, I didn't need to speak up, and I could get away with mumbling on camera, which obviously didn't work. But what did work were some shots that I made there. It's such a beautiful place. It was hard not to capture its best moments. After snapping some shots, I decided to head to Victoria Bay again to enjoy the sunset one last time. On the way back, I stopped at the National Gallery, which was nice, but couldn't really compete with the walk in the city. Hong Kong charmed me. It's rather hard to explain why I liked it so much. It's a combination of things. Probably, if I'm totally honest with myself, it's the European style of the city that got me the most. I do feel quite homesick. It's been over 6 years since I was back home, and Hong Kong with its old paved roads, public transport with trams, buses and metro did remind me of my hometown Kyiv. The whole city has an electrifying energy. Everyone is going somewhere, everyone is busy with something. It felt like it was a place to live and work, not just for tourism, which is rather rare to see in Southeast Asia. After spending the last night in Hong Kong, I went for my last bus ride to the airport. At the airport, I made another miserable attempt to film myself while eating dumplings. No good, just look at this mumbling.
one more challenge in this holiday was that I still feel very shy to record myself in public.
Anyways, I'll try to improve next time. Alright, and this will do for now. As you might have noticed, I was extremely excited to be in Hong Kong. Usually when I travel, I choose to go to some smaller islands, some waterfalls, some mountains, and never big cities. I live in a big city, so for me it feels like a waste. Like, why would I go to another big city when I live in one? But Hong Kong was very different, and I hope you were able to see it in this video. I feel that I just scratched the surface and there's so much more to explore, and I'll definitely be back to this city again to try more food, to see more places, maybe go with friends this time, not solo. I hope you guys will be able to go there too and see it with your own eyes. This is the thing about traveling, you know, you can see the videos, you can see the photos, you can see this multiple times. It can give you a feeling that, you know how it looks like. You basically experience this. While in reality, no. Like, No, videos, they can show it, but even with this video, this is my vision. This is how I saw it, and you basically look through my eyes. But when you go there, you'll see it through your eyes, and that will be probably a totally different kind of image. So, yeah, videos are great, but don't miss the opportunity to explore places on your own. It's totally worth it. But for now, this will do. Bye, and see you soon.